First of all, I would like to wish you welcome. Estimates are, this is fucking science, guys, that approximately 1/3 of the Earth population, 1/3, means already tonight one of the tables are infected. But they will be very happy that you are here. Well,
Guys.
she didn't believe in oneness, but he knew how to prove it. So, what is a bed without an iPad? The collective truth of Wikipedia right at your fingertips. Sure.
Det var bakan till talet. De talar aldrig
We're going to see a movie from Japan, which is a world exclusive premiere. But that's not everything. Science again. The human body comprises of 100 trillion bacteria, more than it has cells, which live in various degrees of harmony with the body, some of which can influence the choices we make in life. Each single person, each one of you, has their own unique microbial signature. They can, for example, influence what kind of people you like, surround us with, and even choose our partners. Ninja! We don't only have books, we also have a double vinyl single from the punk rock band Lillehammer Bryggery Ensemble. She was around my life. Yes. She realized the answer. Of course you will remember, which is one is Du ska ikke trø på Bjørvika, and the other one is Vi spiller på trass og kontrabass.
That's why I'm going to bed.
To me, if you go online and make a review of my books, or if you take a picture with one of my books and post it on Facebook, it means a lot because that's the difference. The Amiga for this was an 880 case, and inside that game it had the whole known universe as it was at that time, which is much more than 880 case. They're from a punk rock band. Punk rock band from Bjørvika. And you know Bjørvika, yeah? They were founded before the opera was made. So they were a punk rock band very much against that the opera will be made, but they didn't know that we would have some of the best rock concerts in the opera, like Simon, Lady Gaga, or the Beatles. But the concept is that you play, actually all the songs are speeches by our king. So all the songs are made by speeches of our king. And these vinyl singles, because most of them were impounded by the Greenland police, they are actually remastered by Material Releaseparty police. And they include songs like Tu Matematik, Stortingsmiddag 2011. So you understand, these could be good punk rock songs. They are modern punk rock songs that are in the belief of the old punk rock from the 80s. When Elite 4 came out, which is Elite Dangerous, or when it was in the making, was when I was finishing this book, I said, let me try to write a story for this universe, because it has its own universe, just like Star Wars and stuff. And they were looking for writers to write for the Elite universe, so I said, yeah, let me try. So that was my first short story in English, actually. And I won, it was part of something called Elite Chronicles, and I won the contest. So it was the the main story of that anthology. Unfortunately, that anthology wasn't managed very well, so it didn't actually become a part of the official Elite Universe story, but it would have been if it wasn't for bad management, right? So, in this book, in the end, that's where the story is. Now as an official Elite Universe story, but that's okay. Because the inspiration to write that story comes from 3 books written by Drew Wire, which also wrote 3 books, unofficial Elite Universe stories. I had a lunch, work, and I spoke with the Norwegian girl, and she said, "Do you want to be a member of our writing club?" Right? And it was a writing club that was writing English stories, keywords to help me along. I don't write speeches, and there's a reason for that actually. Because I was partying a lot with a friend back in time that lived close to Lillehammer. It's a neighbor of Lillehammer. And I saw a concert with Lillehammer once, and she did really well, right? She spoke with me in the songs and all that. And it's really good. If you see her once, it's really good. But then the friend said, she always said the same thing. And so it's only a rehearsed speech. You know? And I don't want to be a rehearsed speech. That's why I only do keywords and then you speak from the heart. Because then it will always be different. So what I learned by sitting with a bunch of people that are writing totally different from my interest area is that you can get inspired by it. But actually, you can take some of their writing, you know, you can take some of the Victorian style of writing, you can take some historical writing, you can take some of the funny kind of writing, and you can bring it to your own repertoire so that it inspires you to become a better writer. And that's what this book is really about. It's a short story collection. I did my first book, this one again. I did it with a small publisher, actually, and it was the first edition of this book was crap. It was so bad I don't even want to tell anybody about it, but I have to. And in Norway, doing something that's bad, like failing, is fatal, because in Norway, that means you are not good. You go out and do something big, you are a failure and you get stamped with it. This is actually, you know, it's the first time I'm writing English, and writing in a different language than your own is totally difficult. Because you actually have to learn how to master a different language enough that you can write in it. So I don't write, this is not a children, right? You have to master it enough that you can actually write an adult sense of style. I'm not going to say it's perfect. That's what you have to do. So it means you have to do so much research. When I did my first 3 books, they were made after, you know, I did kind of like, I used known books as a kind of framework. The first book I did, Nesten som magi, was made after Gita made a River Sutra, but the Norwegian title is much better in this case. It's Stillheten mellom tonene, or the silence between sounds. You know? Second book, Mørkehoppet, was written after a book that a lot of people know, that Björn gave me as a present when I was 18 years old, American Psycho. Bret Easton Ellis, right? Totally crazy book. I mean, I hardly could read it myself, but it's so bad. But anyway, it's a good framework to write a book after. The third book, Regnbukene, was written after The Alchemist, book you find in everyone. And this was recognized almost, right? When Harald Nilsen made the review of this book, he understood this correlation, even though it's not very clear. But he understood it because he was, you know, a professional in literature. Really, I can't.
Janine, what is it doing?
Yes.
Sweet pain.
So it's a teaser for my next book, actually, which I hope will come in 3 years. And it will be about Kenneth Johansen, my private detective. He will be between Norway and Nicaragua. And it has a working title of Vendetta, but that's not the title it will have. I just made a title Vendetta because it's based on the Commodore 64 game, which was also called Vendetta. Kenneth, you might know it, yeah? A game called Vendetta.
I don't remember.
It's like a sister of Last Ninja 3. But I want to talk something about the inspiration of what inspired, who writed books that inspired me. Of course, my main inspiration is from the old masters, not the new masters, but they also. So I read a lot of books, but the Norwegian writer Jens Bjørneboe, for example, is a prime inspiration for me. It's one of the reasons why I have a lot of sex and drugs and rock and roll in the books. It is, because that's what Bjørneboe did. He said, if you want to be a good writer, you have to write extreme first. You have to be an extreme writer first, because then you get it up and then you can be a good writer. So I follow that a lot. But there's also other like Hermann Hesse, Gita Mehta from India, these things. So a lot of the old writers inspire me a lot. But that also means that my writing is in that kind of form. It's in the kind of form that belongs to the another century. Because modern writing today is more like holding someone's hand. Like Trump Lopez said, right? Modern writing today is you tell everything. You have to tell the reader everything that's happened. You have so many words, you sit in the issue, everything. And I don't like that. I like the way when you write with the mystery, when you write like the old writers. But you wouldn't get released. I mean, many of the old writers wouldn't get released. But Prasvapa is a short story collection, so it's not like a book like this. A short story collection. And the difference is really that it is a short story collection. Each story is a standalone story. Even though in the writing club, almost from every story, the writing club gave back feedback. It should be a full book for each story, right? Because they got caught into the story and they wanted to know more. But it's never written like that, except for, of course, the detective Kenneth Johansen. It starts like this. Right? We never felt closer than when we were apart. Even though the brain encompasses a wonderful ability to filter through out the boring, sad, and even horrid moments of our lives. The faded memories were still not rooted through the suffering of longing. Does she still remember? She don't. A harmony echoed the ripples of her own company, the silence of nature. The water, her breath, reassured her away from the desperate sense of loneliness. She remembered too well. Their first time in bed, sweaty pearls mixed with arnica oil. This is like sex. In the process of massaging her whole body. He had finally arrived at her head. His fingers, meticulously searching for new knots to stimulate, found a brush. Shocked! With a hint of tease, he looked at her. You have an alien brain, he said provocatively. What? She responded, amazed. It was such a surreal experience. A surprise. Where did he pull it from? As an immediate reaction, she tilted her head. backwards and laughed. Had it been any hint point of nervousness? Really, I can feel it here. His finger prickled, stroked and pushed her down on the back of her head. It felt nice. Somewhat relaxed. Just wanted to descend into a restful state of peace. And how, might I say, does this prove that I am an alien? Easy. Aliens have abducted you, and they have operated this device in the back of your brain. You might not even have known it. Probably you have no recollection anymore. That would be quite realistic. Indeed. He smiled with humor. It's kind with cover that makes you feel uneasy. It's not a happy front page. It makes you feel uneasy. Because you don't really know what it is. That's the whole point. You don't know really what it is, because Prasvapa, the word Prasvapa, comes from Sanskrit. Sanskrit is one of the early languages where all the Indo-European languages come from. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean a true language like it sounds like in Norwegian. It means the converted language. So it's Sanskrit, if you would say it in Norwegian, really. They converted a language together. It's almost like nynorsk, you know. They put a lot of languages back together 6,000 years ago, and they made an actual language written. This is the language, right? But it's the language where all the languages in Europe come from, except the exotic few that comes from somewhere else. So this is our original language. So Prasvapa is a very good name to talk about dream, because Prasvapa really means dream or of consciousness when you dream. And that's what this is about. Just like all my other books, it's about the edge between what's real and what's not.
Båten kommer med mat.
Ruff, ruff. Could you turn a promenade into a continuous journey of discovery? Everything he discovered would be a potential toy for him, like a Kinder Egg. Something to ridicule in any which way possible. Could it be that she was also a toy? The night ended with the climax of them entangling into each other's embrace, kissing on the edge of a dark park with a nice birch as they only expected. Again they separated, promise meeting again the next day. With her eyes dwelling deep into this. The next day over a simple chicken-based fast food. She asked him, "What would you like to do tonight?" He answered her, returning the same question, silence. They ate more, looked at each other with short, brief glimpses. It was more than looks, more than eyes. It was glittering shimmer of the hidden deep below. How could you not fall? Did I write this? Did I really write this or no? And she said, "I know what you want."